As a kid, I loved McDonald's chicken nuggets. I thought nothing could be better, but boy was I wrong. You could make a better version at home that has more flavor, is crispier, and it comes with an appropriate amount of honey mustard as well as ranch. I'm gonna show you how to make these delicious chicken nuggets, and then we're gonna put them up against McDonald's in a blind taste test to see which one is actually better. First thing we're gonna do is grab our chicken breast. I have here 1 pound's worth of chicken breast, and to prep it, we're gonna cut it into small pieces. So I'm gonna split it down the middle and then cut it into small little chunks. You don't have to be precise at all with your cuts because we're gonna be blending it very soon. Once the chicken is nicely cubed up, we're gonna now grab a food processor, toss all the chicken in there, and then give it a solid blending. Keep blending it until all the chicken starts to ball up and spin around in the food processor. You should have a smooth paste-like consistency of blended chicken. And now we're gonna add our seasoning. So I'm gonna throw in 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, which will actually make it juicier, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Put the lid back on and then give it a blending until all those ingredients are nicely combined. The chicken color should actually change to more of a paprika red. If you give it a sniff, it actually smells pretty good, just very seasoned meat. And this is also called a farce, by the way, in case you were curious. The next thing we're gonna grab is a sheet pan and a cookie scooper, though the cookie scooper is not needed. I'm gonna place some parchment paper on the sheet pan and I'm gonna scoop out even portions of our chicken farce and scoop it onto the sheet tray. I'm using 1 tablespoon portions, which admittedly gives you a very large chicken nugget, so you can use a half tablespoon if you want. You should have a nice even amount of portioned chicken, and I know they kind of look like cookies, but definitely don't eat them right now. From here, we're gonna now shape them into chicken nuggets, so I'm just gonna grab them with my hands and press them down into kind of a chicken nugget shape. Don't overthink it, just make sure they're not too thick and shape them how you want. Now your sheet tray should be full of beautifully shaped nuggets, and from here, we're gonna actually throw them in the freezer to freeze up for about 30 minutes. That 30 minutes gives us plenty of time to work on our honey mustard and our ranch sauce. I'm gonna grab a small container, and I'm also gonna grab this cute little wooden spoon I got on a trip to Hawaii recently. I don't know why I'm so in love with it, but we're gonna scoop in about half a cup of mayonnaise in the container, half a cup of Dijon mustard, 1/4 of a cup of honey, and half a teaspoon of salt. Give that a thorough mixing, and this is actually your honey mustard. I was mind blown at the idea that it's only 3 ingredients, but it is. This recipe closely follows Brian Lagerstrom's recipe, and I found it so good for being so simple as well. Now for the ranch, in a small container, we're gonna throw in half a cup of mayonnaise, followed by 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of whole milk. Give it a thorough mixing, making sure everything is mixed together, and then we're gonna throw in our fun little twist, Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning. About half a packet to 2/3, depending how strong you want the flavors to be. I've made ranch from scratch before, but something about using a Hidden Valley ranch packet is just kind of refreshing and fun every now and then. Taste-wise, you're gonna be shocked at how good it is and how nostalgic it is as well. Something about a good ranch is just so much fun. 30 minutes have passed, and I'm gonna check on our chicken nuggets, and they've partially frozen. They're not fully frozen, but they're cold enough and solid enough to easily bread them. Speaking of breading, in a small bowl, throw in a hefty scoop of cornstarch, and then in a small container, we're gonna drop in 2 eggs, give it a nice whisking, and also sprinkle in a little salt in there as well before giving it a final whisking. And now lastly, in a large bowl, we're gonna throw down 2 hefty scoops of cornstarch, as well as 2 equally hefty scoops of all-purpose flour. Hit it with a pinch of salt, and then give it a good whisking. And now this is your breading station. We're gonna grab one of our chicken nuggets and then fully cover it in our cornstarch, dusting off any of the excess. Then you're gonna dip it in the egg mixture, making sure it's fully covered and letting the excess drip off as well. Drop it in the all-purpose flour and cornstarch mixture, making sure to flip it and press that flour into the nugget. You should have a perfectly floured chicken nugget, and we're gonna set that to the side and bread the rest of our nuggets. Once everything is nicely breaded, you can fry these nuggets right now, but I was getting a little tired, so I'm actually gonna throw them in the freezer and fry them the next morning. The next morning, you can see that they actually haven't really changed much at all. They're pretty much exactly the same. Beautifully covered chicken nuggets. They're just waiting to be fried. This is actually a perfect meal prep option. You could just throw them in a Ziploc bag and then fry them whenever you want. But we're gonna fry them right now. So in a pot, we're gonna throw in a little bit of vegetable oil, not covering more than halfway. You don't want this to boil over, trust me. I'm gonna bring the heat up to high, and then once it reaches about 350 degrees, I'm gonna now toss in 2 to 3 pieces of our chicken nuggets. Throw in only the amount that comfortably fits in your pot. We're gonna fry this for 6 minutes, and make sure you're trying to maintain that temperature at 350 degrees. You can see I'm being really extra here, using 2 different types of thermometers to maintain the temperature. Oh, and also make sure to move the chicken around just for a little bit so that way they don't stick to each other. At the end of the 6 minutes, I'm gonna check the internal temperature, and as you can see, it's that perfect 160 degrees. If you're not frying them from frozen, I would only do it for about 3 to 4 minutes, and you should see a nice crust has developed, but this is only a first fry, so it's okay if it looks a little pale. Once all your chicken has fried up, we're gonna now crank the heat up in our oil to 375 degrees, which I actually overshot it, but it's okay, it'll drop once we drop the chicken in there. We're gonna now drop the chicken back in that oil for their second fry, which is only 2 minutes. At the end of the 2 minutes, your chicken should be beautifully fried, nicely golden and crispy. I also decided to sprinkle a little bit of salt over the chicken nuggets, but to be honest, you could skip this step because the salt just bounced off the nuggets and didn't really adhere to it. Once you fried all your chicken, you should have a beautiful assortment of beautifully fried nuggets. I'm gonna put them in a bowl, and now it's time to compare them against McDonald's chicken nuggets. All right, time for the blind taste test. I must warn you guys though, this is a solo operation, so I am very much fully aware as to which one's which, because I don't have anyone to shuffle it around to me. Starting off with the McDonald's, obviously. Okay, yeah, I did not like that at all. Now let's try the homemade nugget. Oh yeah, holy cow, right off the bat. So much more flavor. It's not even a competition. Now it's time for the fun part. The sauces. First sauce we're trying is the McNugget honey mustard. The honey mustard helps a lot with the nuggets. Now let's try our honey mustard. Ours was definitely the winner there, but now let's try some ranch. So this is the McDonald's ranch. I remember McDonald's ranch tasting so much better than this. Okay, well, I'm not worried about it then. Now test our ranch. A night and day difference. The clearest and easiest winner is my chicken nuggets. 10 out of 10, beating McDonald's 10 out of 10 times, without question. Now, if you're not a fan of using a ton of oil to fry your food at home, well then don't worry, I have an amazing air fryer chicken wing recipe right here. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe button.